So, Aaron Thompson, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Chief Customer Officer Secrets. So, we briefly spoke about the reason why we're doing this, but I know it's something you feel very strongly about as well, which is that there's been a big rise in customer success roles. I think LinkedIn referenced a 2020 report showing a 34% increase in the number of CS professional roles. However, there's not that representation at the board level that you'd expect. So that's why we're doing this series, and you have been a great asset to many chief customer officers, so we thought you'd be a great person to come on and share your secrets.
Just before we get too far down the road, for the audience, that's a unicorn. We're all unicorns if we get the right tools. And at Success Coaching, my company, that's what we aim to do. And we work with individual contributors to help get into customer success and break into tech sometimes for the first time by way of customer success. First off, customer success, the domain, the discipline, is very young still compared to marketing and sales and operations and support and product and engineering. They've been around for a lot longer than we have. And so that lends itself to leadership not having that background, right? It's going to take us some time to catch up and get there. But when you see the individual contributors, so many roles opening up and so many customer success, quote unquote, positions being available, that I think speaks to a healthy industry that's growing. But what is, I think, happening is people are actually being transitioned from an account manager or from a customer support or service type of role, and they're being told you are now a customer success manager. Right. But they don't change the daily activity. They don't change the job description. They don't, right? They're still reactive and tactical and really operating in a support role, or they still have like a quota and a number and really operating in an account manager role, as opposed to being outcome aligned and defining what success is for that person, and then delivering that definition, and then demonstrating that, being proactive and strategic with how we manage those relationships. We're not teaching people what customer success is, and we're not enabling them and actually empowering them to be successful.
Yeah, I think, you talked about the customer success world still being quite green, and I think what can happen then, as you say, is that customer success teams don't have definition in their role, don't focus on the right things, they don't have a mission that's aligned to the customer, and as such, they're just constantly in a clean-up mode.
Really, like, who's going to be the champion? Who's going to be responsible to shape the culture? Who's going to ask the question in the leadership meeting, what would our customers think?
I think what you've touched on there is something that we've had a lot in this series, which is that there are a lot of people performing the functions of a chief customer officer, but just without the title. What advice would you give those people?
I would quantify what, if anything, a chief customer officer is responsible for that they're not already responsible for, and outline a way with their leadership. So they would presumably be reporting to the CEO if they're talking to someone about, hey, I should be considered a CCO. And so with that CEO, let's figure out if there's anything you're not doing that is in a typical chief customer officer job description or JD. I would also work with or reach out to chief customer officers and CCOs that are out there in the world to start to network and try to really understand, because there's probably some level of experience that is going to be required that maybe we do or do not have. And if we don't have it, now's the time to start doing all the other things, so that once you hit that 10 years of customer success experience or whatever that CCO requirement would be, you're already doing the other things, right? You want to be doing the job before you are presented with the promotion.
So Aaron, you're someone who has dedicated their career to helping others do better in their own careers, and for that, I salute you and have a lot of respect for you.
The industry that we're in has changed my life on a profound level, professionally as well as personally. And the reason the reason I love it so much is because of the people that are in it. They're people.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Aaron. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you for the opportunity to join.